All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to JWB's Property of the Week. We are going live, and I'm going to break down a currently available turnkey rental property here from JWB. This is a great opportunity if you're looking to invest in this rental property. I'm going to break it down for you, and it's currently available, so you can reach out to my team. But if you're not ready to invest right now, this is still a great opportunity. Put yourself in kind of a trial run mode. Think of this as being that opportunity that you are going to invest in. Ask yourself these questions and ask me these questions, because when you are ready, you're going to be informed, you're going to be confident, you're going to be ready to pull the trigger so you can start building your rental property portfolio. I'm checking out the questions here. So for those who are joining me live, you can go ahead and fire in questions, and I'm going to be here to answer those for you. I'll do that towards the end. So go ahead and fire those in all at the time. Sometimes people ask questions right at the end and I'm signing off and I don't get to them. So go ahead and fire those in whenever, and I'll make sure I check it at the end. And if you want to be the first one to know about the Turnkey Property of the Week from JWB, you got to join me on our show. We do it every Thursday. And so I actually spoke of this property here that I'm going to reveal to you on Thursday. We do it Thursdays at 12:30. It's the Not Your Average Investor show. And you can register for free at jwbshow.com. So I hope I'll see you there on the next one. But we've got a great property here that I'm going to walk you through. A lot of fun memories of this property and of other properties right in that neighborhood that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to tell you why I love it for your rental property portfolio. So without further ado, we're going to do the whole screen sharing thing and jump right in. All right, so we are looking at the property here at 8950 Sibbald Road. All right, and I'm going to show you sort of where this property is in just a second. But the first thing to always pay attention to when you're analyzing a turnkey investment property is your return on investment estimation. You want to be between 9 to 11% here in the Jacksonville market. That's what you get with JWB turnkey rental properties. That means positive cash flow and a lot of it. So for this rental property, $214 a month estimated monthly cash flow. That's going right into your bank account on a normal month for your rental property. Now, the way you get there is you factor in all of the costs and all of the income, and that's what helps determine your rate of return, right? A cost, of course, is your purchase price, right? And more relative to you is what your payment on that debt is going to be every single month as well. So typically, the higher the purchase price, all things kept the same, the lower the rate of the return. And saying it another way, if you have a really high purchase price, then you have to have offsetting income to offset that to still get to that 9 to 11% returns. And we can do both. This happens to be a lower price property. $148,000 is about the lowest that you'll see here in Jacksonville for a passive income stream. And the reason for that is because it's a renovation. Our purchase prices generally are between $150,000 and $210,000. And so your renovations are going to be a little bit lower on the scale. So think 150 to 180 is a typical renovation. And then for your new construction, you're going to be typically 180 to 210. So this is at 150. It's about the lowest that we can get to on the pricing scale. So a lot of you out there, we all have budget constraints. This is a great one for those that have a little bit less in the budget, but that want to add this first one to their portfolio. Some other things to take note: it's 3 beds, 2 baths. The average monthly rent is $1,050 a month. And one of the great things about this property is that it's already rented. It is cash flow positive from day one for the investor that adds this to their portfolio. That is so rare when you invest in rental properties, especially in a market like this, where inventory is very scarce and many other turnkey providers sell you the property and then expect you to wait while they renovate it, fill it with a resident, or wait while they build the house. That is not the case. This is cash flow positive day one for the investor, and that's critical to hit your goals. Some of the other things that I really like about this property: low property taxes and low insurance costs. That's great. The home was actually built in 2006, so your insurance costs are a little bit lower than what a typical renovated home would be. So that is really great. And then low property taxes. Generally, your taxes are going to be higher for a new construction home because you have a higher purchase price. That's just sort of how things go. So this is the home on Sibbald Rd, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I really like about it. Well, the first thing is that the first thing I really love about it is how much experience I have in that neighborhood. and I'll kind of stop the screen share here for a second because it's so important when you're doing business with a turnkey rental property provider or when you're making an investment in a rental property that you have a significant amount of experience. Experience really matters, obviously, because you're going to understand what the market value of the home is. You're going to understand what the rents are in that area. You're going to understand what you need to do to rent that home. You're going to understand what you need to do to keep that resident happy so they stay with you for many, many years, right? The single greatest correlation to your success as a rental property investor is how long that resident stays in your home. That is going to determine your low maintenance and your low vacancy costs. JWB, our average resident stays 54 months, and that's why our clients are successful. And part of the reason that we know that and that we experience that success with our clients and those long-term resident stays is because we do the same thing over and over and over again in the same neighborhoods. So let me show you what I mean here by that. This is a map of Jacksonville that we're looking at here. And thank you to everybody who's with me here on the walk and talk on the property of the week here. I appreciate y'all spending some time with me here. We are, and what I'm doing now, can you all just let me know that what you're seeing, those of you who are watching right now, can you let me know that what you're seeing is right on the screen? I always get a little worried when we do some screen sharing. So if you wouldn't mind, drop a comment and just let me know that this is working. But what you're seeing here is a map of Jacksonville. Right? This is the Atlantic Ocean here. We're a coastal city. This is the St. Johns River, and this is downtown Jacksonville right here. And all of these blue markers are all of the properties that JWB has purchased, renovated, or built and sold to our turnkey clients. And we do all of the property management for them as well. That's over 2,000 properties that we have gone through that process with our clients that are success stories right there. And so that goes right into the experience in the neighborhood. So this green dot that I'm showing you right here, that's the house on Sibbald Rd, right? It is in the heart of the north side, which is this area up here, which we absolutely love, right? Overall, we manage 3,600 homes or so. And you can see we have 4 major neighborhoods. So call it roughly 1,000 homes, 1,000 data points that we have of rents, of purchase prices, of what we need to do to keep that resident happy. That's why we're successful. That's what you got to demand when you're making a rental property investment. That's how you mitigate your risks. So as you can see here, if I'm zooming into this area right here on Sibbald Rd, I mean, look at all these data points that we have. This is why that $1,050 a month of rent that I'm sharing with you is not a guess, right? Even if it wasn't rented at this moment, which it is, that's not a guess because there's so many data points here that make this easy for JWB to get it right for you. Because if you're off $25 or $50 on rents, that can throw your numbers completely sideways. And that's what happens to a lot of first-time and savvy, experienced rental property investors if they don't invest in a neighborhood where there's a lot of experience there. Well, I have a ton of experience here for this house on Sibbald Rd. I'm going to show you just how much experience here. So I love this neighborhood, as you can imagine. These are the homes that our clients own with us, but I also own over 300 rental properties. And one of the first ever rental properties I purchased was on Sibbald Rd, and I still own it. So I just wanted to show you how close that is. I'm showing you another map here. This is Sibbald Rd. It's easy for me to show the miles that it's far apart. That's the only reason I'm switching the map here. But this is the home on Sibbald Rd that is for sale right now. This turnkey property of the week is right here. This is the first, well, I won't say it's the first. I think it's one of the first 10 properties that I ever purchased right here on 9269 Sibbald Rd. I still own it. I bought it in 2007. It's a wonderful cash flow positive asset and has been for me for going on, 13 years now. So you can see just how much I believe in the neighborhood. All right, thank you all for being with me again. If you guys are joining live, if you have questions, go ahead and fire those in at any point, and then I'll answer them towards the end of the call here. So a couple of other things just to take note here. One other learning lesson, and again, I'm gonna kind of pull this back here because it's really important that you guys take this little bit of a teaching lesson here. When most other turnkey providers are putting a property valuation in front of you, they are trying to do whatever they can to juice the return on investment. Now, I tell you to go and look at the return on investment first because that's the most important thing, and other people know that as well. And many turnkey providers operate from the stance of however high they can make that number, the better the chance they have to sell that asset. JWB, we operate from a little bit of a different mold. We are here for the long haul for our clients. We want our clients to come on with the right expectations. And we believe if we set the right expectations and then we hit those expectations and maybe even overperform, that's going to help you win in the long run. That's going to help us win in the long run, because you're going to come back and you're going to buy more houses with us, and you're going to tell your friends and your family about us. And that's why over half of our business comes from referrals. So when I'm putting an evaluation in front of you with over a 9% return on investment, I need it to be accurate. I can't oversell it, because I'm only going to hurt myself in the long run. I'm only going to hurt my team in the long run if we can't perform to that expectation. I want to show you one way where other turnkey providers might keep your costs low and juice your returns, but it might not be always accurate. Comes down to maintenance costs, which happen to be one of your biggest pain points. All right, I got a lot of questions on the show yesterday about the return, and I wanted to go ahead and point out what's built into this return on investment. So as I'm zooming in here a little bit, we're going to zoom in on the maintenance rate. Okay. So this maintenance rate, this 9% number, means that of the annual rents that we collect, we expect that you're going to put back about 9% of that back into the property in the form of costs over the long haul. It's not every year that you do that. You don't have to, we don't escrow that money for you or anything. We just want you to be prepared, and we factor it into your overall returns. Now, when most providers put out their estimated return, when they put their estimated return on investment, they factor in a very low maintenance cost, or they factor in a cost that's sort of like industry standard. But if you ask them how they actually get that maintenance cost, they don't know it, right? Because I've never seen another turnkey provider that actually tracks all their maintenance costs and then shares it with their clients. That's what we do. And that's the only way that you really know what your estimated maintenance cost should be. Many other providers just use 7% of cost because that's what all of their colleagues in the industry have used for however long. But it doesn't take into account how old the house is, doesn't take into account the level of property management that you need and the length of the resident stay. And all those things really matter. So we have tracked every dollar in and every dollar out of all of the turnkey properties we have sold since 2011. That's an incredible amount of data that we have. And what we see is certain types of properties have certain maintenance costs. And you should be requiring this from the turnkey provider that you work with as well. I hate to tell you, but you're probably going to be disappointed, because nobody has real numbers on this other than JWB in all of my travels and speaking with others in the industry. So JWB has learned that for a new construction property, you're going to have lower maintenance costs. For us, it's about 4%. Now, what we've also learned for renovated homes, it's going to vary if you have sewer or septic, right? If the property is on sewer, you're going to have lower maintenance costs over time. If it's on septic, you're going to have higher maintenance costs slightly. Now, does that mean that buying a property on septic is bad? Absolutely not, right? It just means that you need to make sure that you have such good rent numbers or such low other costs that you can still get in at that 9% plus return on investment, which is what we have here on Sibbald Rd. But you have to know this ahead of time, right? If I was to only put 7% here, I'll show you what would happen. It would bump that return almost up to 10%, just like that, right? And that's what other turnkey providers do. It's because they don't have access to the data. They haven't tracked it. They don't know it. And also it's to their benefit to not know it. If they can just say that they're going to use the industry standard 7%, but you as the client will get burned if you don't have access to this type of data and you don't have these types of expectations set for you. So we set the real number, which is 9% for maintenance costs that we've seen. And that is why we're confident that we're going to deliver this 9.31% return on investment for you over the long haul. So that's a little bit about Sibbald Rd here at 8950 Sibbald Rd. And this is one that I really do love for your rental property portfolio. Appreciate all of you being here with me. If you would like to learn more about this property, if you want to add it to your portfolio, reach out to your JWB portfolio manager if you're already a current client. If you're not a current client, we would love for you to become one. And the best way to do that is to schedule a time to speak with my team. You can schedule it by going to chatwithjwb.com, or you can drop me a a note here or a comment, and I'll always facilitate that conversation for you. And certainly hope to join you, or that you'll join me on the Not Your Average Investor show. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:30. That's where we reveal this property first. And so there you got to go if you want to be the first to know. Every Thursday at 12:30 is when we reveal the property of the week. And you can register at jwbshow.com. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.